when I shared on our YouTube channel that we were going up on Friday, somebody said, "Ooh, Friday class, does that mean pizza party?" I said, "That's right." You know
Hell
what?
yeah, let's grab a slice, girl.
This is a pizza party over here.
And you know where the best pizza is? New York. Go, Mamdani, go. Hey.
Hey, that's my mayor.
Ooh, wait. No.
Listen.
Listen.
Wait.
I hate you for that.
Let me fix it. What is the look that is happening on your face right now?
You know what? You know what it is, Fran? I was like, we going outline free. This is like the new. I'm excited about us just like going in and like
the lips
talking.
the lips were so pursed.
I mean, he also just did finally get a haircut, so I'm feeling real cute.
Oh, okay,
but
great.
Can I tell you about the haircut though? You know this life.
Yes.
Girl, I'm in the chair. He's doing like the steam, and he's like about to do my lineup, and I was like, God damn, the line is giving Tyra Banks these days. It's getting so thin. Look at the 17 head he's got. Damn. Thinning, middle age.
Well, I have maybe this is a glow up. Beyonce really did her thing with that sacred because I got a little spot. It's called Restoring Edge Drops, and let me tell you, it is trying to find some restoring edge drops. You might as well be fucking searching for the King Tut's tomb or some shit because you can't find it.
Mining for gold out here.
Yes, and even at Ulta, they have on the website 2 per person because people were buying extra of them.
Scalping them?
The pun intended, scalping them. And my barber even said, because I saw people using it, I didn't buy anything like when the line first dropped. And then truthfully, I saw people sharing their results from the edge drops. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to try them because I have a little spot here that's thin. And I usually put my part there. Delon, 2 months. 2 months. And I took before and after photos. And the shit works. And my barber was like, I have a client who lives overseas and is here for work. And every time he's here, he's like, I have to find these drops. And he can't find them anywhere.
Okay, listen, I need a vat. I need to stick my whole day. Actually, no, not my whole day, man. Because here's what's fucked up about being a man. The beard comes up to my eyeballs. I was going like this the other day, and I was like, is that hair near my eye? What the fuck?
So funny you say that because with the drops, I'm telling you, my eyebrows started connecting to my hair.
She said, "Don't let it drip. Don't let it drip."
Give a werewolf. I was like, "Yo, this is crazy." But they really do work. So this is not sponsored. Beyonce is not giving me any coins. All right. Well, listen. Welcome back to Let Me Fix It, the podcast that says, this is my 3rd cup of coffee. I'm fucking exhausted.
I just finished my 3rd cup of coffee because it never ends.
I'm addicted. I'm also for Jessica Ramsey. I'm a writer. I'm an actress, a producer, a graphic designer.
My name is Delon Grant, and I'm also an addict. And I am an actor, a singer, a writer, a podcast producer, an educator, all the things. And welcome back, class. You know what we do. You know how we do. Yeah. But again, this is our 2nd episode of we know we're coming back a little late. That is totally my fault. We had some travel stuff. But
you want to tell the class?
Guys, yo, this is poor Fran Jessica. So we're just doing too many things, the 2 of us. And I literally have 4 jobs. I have this podcast, I teach full time, I teach with another company privately, and I'm an actor. So I'm in rehearsal, I'm gonna teach all day, and then rehearsals from 5 to 10. Anyway, I got out this rehearsal. I got to my couch. I said, I'm going to watch me some TV. I completely forgot that we scheduled to record.
Went to sleep. And I was sitting here, just for context class, full face, looking cute, had a full day of work ahead of me, and then was headed to the airport for some family stuff. And I was sitting here like, what? And here's the thing. My mind, I knit the bad sweater. I'm like, he was hit on his bike.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood, because these drivers in Boston are fucking crazy.
But I was just like, and it's totally fine. I'm just teasing you because, I love you.
Whatever. Yeah.
But like, I had the feeling of, oh my God, I hope he's okay, because it's so unlike you to just not show up. And I was just like, where is he? So, it's totally fine. This actually works out because one of the things I had on my list was, are we about to see Mayor Mamdani? And my God, on today, I am so, man, I needed that so bad. I know New York needed it, but I needed it more.
Fran, you really start to hit the nail on the head there, right? It's crazy that we're all so focused on New York City. I know that like you and I have both lived in New York, and New York thinks it's the center of the world, right? Yes. And in some ways we could argue that it is, right? It's essential, the financial capital of the United States, for sure, to be sure, in a lot of ways. But we're all so focused on this race and this moment because we need it. Because politically, if you're on the kind of left-leaning progressive side, we've all been disillusioned. I'll speak from the I've been disillusioned by our leaders.
No, I think you could say all of us. We have been just shit on, beat
and
up.
Also we're discovering. I'm discovering it. I'm going, oh wait, y'all are. This is self-interest, and we know politics is what it is, but I'm like, oh, y'all ain't got nobody in mind. And especially when it comes to like, hey,
Democrats.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, we should do something. I'm gonna write Chuck Schumer. I'm gonna write an email. We gotta do something.
Girl.
Then what are you doing? What are you actually doing?
Well, and I think that is a great jumping off point for the ways in which Mamdani's campaign has really invigorated people. We talked about this when we first talked about him, that more people have said, okay, you know what? I think I want to try and run for office because of him. Run for Something, which is an organization I've worked with and I've shouted out a number of times. We will link in the description box. If you are a millennial or a Gen Z person who has interest in politics, they help first-time candidates run for local office. And they got like 60,000 people just saying like, I'm interested, right? Like they have a vetting process to make sure that you're actually qualified. But it's really exciting. And I think in terms of like, self-interest of it all, it just really shows like what we want is somebody who is for the people. And, there's already people being just so negative. I mean, the racism and Islamophobia
God, it's crazy.
I knew it was bad. Like we're black, right? Like we know, but like to see how bad it has been and how it's ramped up has been really, really nuts. But ultimately they are scared because he has mobilized people. Like you don't have to make up lies about somebody if they're not a threat.
Well, that Fran, and also like what's crazy to me too is like you're not willing to double down on the policy. Like, let's talk about his actual policies. And that makes me think, oh, you have no interest in helping people.
No.
You have interest in our vote every 4 years or during the midterms or whatever cycle it is, but you have no interest in actually helping those who need it, right?
No.
And the idea that government is supposed to help everyone is socialism. Well, listen, it's here to help. It helps corporations all the time. It gives tax breaks. People have loopholes for taxes. People are just asking for a livable wage. People are asking for their EBT to come when it's supposed to come because they work, like we said last episode, they work at Walmart and they don't make enough money to subsidize their life. So they actually have to be on food stamps, right?
Yeah.
And like, let's talk about his policies. Right? He's trying to freeze the rent in one of the most expensive cities in our country in particular, but in the world. He wants buses to be free for people. Why is that bad?
Which a number of other places have that. Like, that's what's wild to me is people are like, absolutely not on my watch. And it's like, there are multiple places in the world where you can get on the bus and it's free, where they have free childcare. Like, again, for people that claim to be pro-life, I mean, just that word is just a misnomer because they're really just pro-birth. They don't care when the actual baby gets here.
The pro-control of women.
Okay. It's just baffling. And the thing that I saw a lot of people saying online and in my comments is, well, he can't do all the things that he's promising. And I'm of the mind, I would rather somebody try and fail rather than tell us, I'm going to give you the same shit that you've always gotten that hasn't been fucking working.
And I'm putting barbecue sauce on it, so
and
you
I'm
don't taste that shit.
And also, I can't keep my fucking hands to myself.
Oh,
you know
God.
what I mean? Like,
yeah, totally.
Like what the hell?
Well, and let me combat that thing. Like, he can't do everything that he says he's going to do, because they're not wrong. Right. So, like, the things that he can do, he can freeze the rent because he has control of the rent board. The mayor can appoint people on the rent board. Right. What he can't do is he can't make the buses free without the governor of New York. So Kathy Hochul, the childcare thing, I think he also needs Kathy Hochul for that, but she endorsed him. Right. And here's what we need. The hope that we need behind us. If I lived in New York, I'd say us New Yorkers. You need to put the pressure on Kathy Hochul now. It's not over.
Yes.
So now she has her lieutenant governor is also running. I forget his name. Her lieutenant governor is running for governor. And so now we have somebody else to prop up, and he's a little bit more progressive than she is. So hold her feet to the fire to help his agenda get across the finish line there, you know? So we need to rest in that a little bit. And taxing the rich is something else we need Kathy Hochul for too. But, like, listen, feet, fire.
Yeah. I mean, look, ultimately, I saw someone say this and I shared it, and I really appreciated the sentiment. Is like, look, I really like Zorhan Mamdani. I want him to succeed. But now is where we fucking hold his feet to the fire, because you said you were going to do some things. And again, you might not be able to do all of them, but I want to know that you've made a concerted effort to try. Because unlike MAGA, we're not worshiping a fucking politician. No politician is perfect. I'm not going to just say, oh my God, you're the best, you're perfect. No, like, you work for, I mean, again, we don't live in New York, but like, he is all of our mayor now, as far as I'm concerned.
The way I was,
speak carefully, because don't say some illicit things about that man. He's a mayor now.
I wasn't even going there, but
yes, you were. Yes, you were. I know.
I mean, I will tell you what was said on the gay chat about Mamdani.
I don't even have to know to know it was nasty.
That smile, come on.
Oh, fine.
Oh, and them rings, come on.
No, yeah, just gorgeous.
Yeah, the one thing, just jumping from Mamdani, if we could really quick. The one thing that I know we can't fix, but is happening in like the country at large. Have you seen this stuff online about shrinkflation, Fran? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't think I have. What is that?
So shrinkflation is the concept of, you and I would go to a grocery store and buy a bag of Doritos. I mean, we ain't buying no Doritos like that. And then you open the bag of Doritos and it's half of the bag. But you're also the shrink part of it is you're used to a certain amount in the bag, but they think we're stupid enough to not know that there's supposed to be 12 eggs.
There's so much air in the bag.
You know what I mean? So I had a caffeine, talking about caffeine in the beginning. I had a caffeine emergency, and I stopped at Starbucks. I know we ain't really doing it anymore, but I needed it. I got a tall coffee, Fran. It was like 3/4 of an inch was chopped off the bottom of the Starbucks cup. I was like,
the size of the cup is small?
The size of the cup is small. I said, Starbucks, you have lost your whole mind. I just paid damn near $4 for something I used to get. And what are you talking about?
No.
So it's happening everywhere, and it's really annoying. And I think we need to start talking about this more, because we're getting robbed. We're getting robbed everywhere, left and right.
Yeah, but look, this goes back to, I think, 2 episodes ago that we talked about people kind of tightening their belt for the holiday season. Yeah. This is something that is happening year round, in that, like, I'm not going out to eat. I'm in here with my little at-home coffee. I am bringing snacks with me. If I'm going somewhere, I'm eating before I leave. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not going somewhere and buying a $30 burrito. And that's how, like, the shit is just...
That's a crime. That's a fucking crime.
insane out here. But no, I didn't know it was called shrinkflation. That's so funny. There's a word for everything. I also texted you about this really small non sequitur that they put 6'7" in the dictionary. They made it the word of the year. It's not even a word.
It's not even. It's two words, stupid.
You let me down with that one.
That is so. The little. I'm currently playing Zaddy Warbucks in a production of Annie, and the little girl who's playing Annie. We've talked. She's said the 6'7" thing, and I was like,
"How
what
old is she?"
That? She's actually 13, but she reads really, really small. And so yesterday at rehearsal, the entire rehearsal, she's going 6'7", and then she's the pages of our script. She goes 6'7", and then she points to the clock. She goes 6'7". She points. I was like the 6'7", 6'7". My students are doing it too.
My coworker
6'7".
That's so funny. Wait, this is I'm gonna a hard pivot, and it might be old news now, but I'm curious to get your take on it. What do you think about JD Vance and Erika Kirk? You think they about to start bumping uglies?
I don't know who these people are.
What?
I know JD Vance. JD Vance, yes.
Erika Kirk is Charlie Kirk's widow.
Oh,
you really? Didn't see the picture?
No, really?
Okay, Delon, let me give you the tea.
Usha, you better get your man.
No, fuck Usha Vance. Okay, here's what happened. Here's what happened. So JD Vance, I don't know if you saw this, he took over Charlie Kirk's podcast for a day because what else did the vice president have to fucking do than podcast one day? But apparently he was close with Charlie Kirk. And so they are continuing this college tour that Charlie Kirk was supposed to be on, but he is not because he is now looking up at us from hell. So JD Vance goes to speak at this school and Erika Kirk introduces him. Now, Erika, mind you, her husband has been dead for like 2 months, and Miss Mama has been on a world press tour. She has been everywhere, doing everything all at once. So she introduces JD Vance, and she says something to the effect of, he is an incredible man. He is a dear friend of mine. And, you know, his wife, she makes like a weird face. She's like, he's been incredible for me. And his wife has really been here for me. And then she says, and no one will replace my husband, but I see a lot of Charlie in JD Vance, which is just a very weird thing to say after your husband has been murdered. And then she says, please welcome my dear friend and incredible man, JD Vance. He comes out onto the stage. They hug. He puts his hand on her waist. She puts her hand in his hair. Now, when you put your hand behind somebody's head and you're hugging them, that is a move.
I mean, that's crotch to crotch right there.
That is somebody that you have seen naked or you want to see naked. Okay, then JD Vance gives his speech, whatever, and then there is a Q&A, and an Indian woman asks a question, and she brings up, like, you know, you talk so much about anti-immigration. Your wife is an immigrant, or the child of immigrants. You are in an interfaith marriage. You know, she's not Christian, and you talk so much about these Christian values and like this promise that that immigrants have been promised for America. She asked a very like kind of lengthy, but like really passionate question about how the things that JD Vance preaches seem at odds with the fact that his wife is Indian and his children are mixed race. This motherfucker responds by saying, I love my wife very much. And of course, I hope she converts. I hope that she will take the message of Jesus. So that combined with him and Erika Kirk seeming kind of like cozy, people are speculating but this is laying the foundation for him to kick Usha to the side and get with her. And that the narrative will be our shared love for Charlie brought us together. Because listen, if they are setting him up to be the president because I think that, you know, Trump is going to kick the bucket, I don't think MAGA's not going to be okay with him having a brown wife. They already don't like her. They already say, and him saying, I hope she converts.
There's so many problems with this. I mean, not only the language, but also like, I mean, you know, listen, there's a double standard across the spectrum. So take what I'm about to say with a grain. But I just think it's like really hypocritical to have all these Christian values and then have a big divorce that's very public.
Yes.
You're the second in line to the presidency, and for everyone to go, yeah, that's all right. Again, double standards exist.
yes. But I agree with the speculation that him saying she's not Christian, she's Hindu, that the Christian base will see that as okay because that is an what is it?
Irreconcilable difference. Well, I can't say it either.
Yeah, exactly. Like okay, she's not a Christian, and that is the reason. Again, Donald Trump has how many baby mamas? You are correct. You are absolutely correct that it's completely hypocritical. But I think that they would frame it in such a way of like, well, she's not a Christian.
I think we also have to consider that nobody likes JD Vance.
No, and they're trying to make him more likable, which again,
and it's unsuccessful. Like nobody likes JD Vance, and so I think I don't know. They didn't even want him. I think I remember people talking about Charlie Kirk being a VP candidate. Nobody likes JD, and I don't think that's going to work. I mean, you heard it here first. I don't know that post Trump that he's going to have a significant career as a politician. I don't think so.
Well,
maybe a candidate, sure,
but if Trump dies in office as the vice president, he would be bumped up to president.
Sure,
and
sure.
So I am speculating. I am putting out into the universe that he not gonna make it the whole second term. I really think he is on his last leg, but it also just feels like the optics for people who seem to be so obsessed with optics, the optics of them hugging with her hand. Oh, P.S. Delon, she was also wearing leather pants, like tight leather pants, just very like strangely dressed for the occasion where it's like you're speaking at a college and there's, thousands of people, you're on a big stage. She was dressed very like she looked like she was an extra for like the Pussycat Dolls or something.
Oh my God.
Like, tons of jewel, like rings on every single finger and like big chunky jewelry and heavy makeup. Again, your body, your choice, but like in contrast to this image of like grieving wife whose husband was murdered, she's giving kind of like glam housewife. Just very
I don't want to judge anybody for how they're, like people are allowed to,
yes, of course,
even also be pretty, you know what I mean? But I think back to like she and JD, like that, I don't think that will be a smart move. And you know what? If it does happen, if it does come to pass, oosh. I know the world is mad at you too, but like I think you need to go on your own press tour, girl, and be like, here's the truth. I want to know. I want to read that book.
I mean, I want the deets too, but I really think that a lot of people are assuming that Usha is this like victim, and I don't think she is. Like
no.
she knows who he is. They've been together for a long time. I would not speculate. There are people who are like she's being abused. I don't want to project that onto the relationship.
Abused?
I don't want to like write fan fiction. But also there is this insistence. I mean, people did this with Melania Trump, where they were like, oh, I feel so bad for her. It's like, you feel bad for her because she's just a woman and you've decided that means she can't be complicit in her husband's actions.
Right.
When she came out with that I don't care jacket on, and it was like, y'all, she's telling you right now, when she stole Michelle Obama's speech, like she was part of the birther movement. Like there's this whole thing of like, oh, well, the wife, maybe she doesn't know. I think Usha knows. I think she knows, and I don't think she cares.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a way to stand on the stage and not know. She's also, lest we forget, she also went to Yale and is a lawyer.
She's very smart.
Right? She also she was a clerk for Brett Kavanaugh and Justice John Robert. Like, so she's also a conservative. Like, we also need to not forget that.
Exactly. Like, don't take away her power just because it makes you feel better about your own sense of morality. I believe that she absolutely knows what's going on.
Right.
I feel bad for the kids. That's the only people I feel bad for.
I mean, you know what? I don't. I'm sure they're living a very healthy life.
To be clear,
they're being taken care of.
Yes,
like, I mean,
they are, but their father has openly said that people who are not Christian are less than. He has.
But Fran, I think you're saying that like yeah, the ideology on our side is bad, but that doesn't mean that they can't be raised in that same ideology and have the same kind of and think
But they
independently. The
are
same thing you're yeah, but
yes.
the same thing you're saying about Usha is
No,
applies
no,
to the
but
kids.
no, I think a child is different because a child is not an adult and a child doesn't have the choice to walk away and say, I don't want to live in this household. For JD Vance to go on record, he was in an interview recently talking about how Americans shouldn't have to live next to people who speak other languages. Mind you, he has biracial children. We have seen far too many times biracial people, especially biracial Black people, but across the spectrum, who have had white parents that are racist, and it's really fucking hard for them. I can't imagine that he has not, even when he talks about them, he doesn't say our children, he says her children. He talks about them as if they just belong to her. So I feel bad for them because, again, who knows what their values are, but they are being raised in a home with at least one parent who has said outwardly hostile things about immigrants, and they are the children of immigrants. Like, it's just crazy. To me, I'll never understand the impulse to get into a relationship with someone and then express really hateful. I mean, his parents don't. English is not his in-laws' first language, but he says you shouldn't have to live next to people who don't speak English. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm of the mind that, like, you know, welcome to America. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what someone else thinks about me, but I can only, to your point, to add on to that, I can only judge it by your actions. And I automatically assume that everyone is slightly hostile toward me,
Yeah.
for better or for worse, based on my own experience, right? Being gay and being Black and being poor, having grown up poor, like
Yeah.
we live in that world. I do hear you though, like to the identity, we are not mixed raced, and so like I can imagine that already having that identity and finding out where you land is already a struggle, and to like be torn in different ways, not only with your family but with society, is definitely challenging. You know, I saw this thing about not Vivek Ramaswamy, wasn't he the conservative? This man broke him down so easily. He was like, I feel bad for Vivek. He was it's very much, you know, the leopards at your face, your song. He was like, you know, to do all of that and to still have these Christian conservatives say, you know, Ann Coulter look him in the face in an interview and go, she point blank said, yeah, I wouldn't vote for you because you're an Indian. And I said, wow.
Yeah.
And he just sat there but still doubled down and was like, yeah, but you know, Trump, conservative.
Oh yeah, he was another one that spoke at a Turning Point event. I did a Leopards rendition for him, and during the Q&A, they were saying things to him about, you know, his religion is a false religion, and he, you know, is basically worshiping a demon to his face, and he was just like, It's like just the cognitive dissonance and just like the pick me behavior is just it's just awful.
Sorry, hard pivot.
Yeah.
I wanted to, it's a little bit personal.
Okay.
Not for me personal, but like just like feeling emotional, kind of a psychological, I guess. I want to talk about the inconvenience of community. I saw this thing about the inconvenience of community that I think is really great. What I mean by that, class, is that like the things that we do, that we endure, I'll say, to have community. Fran lives in LA. It would be the equivalent of you driving an hour to go to a friend's party, knowing that you're going to be in traffic forever. Not that my friends were asking me to help them to move because we're 40 now and you better be hiring somebody, but it's like, you know, helping a friend move, or like sleeping on someone's couch just so you can spend time with them. I think it's a really interesting concept, and I wonder how it's attached to our loneliness epidemic, because a lot of us are unwilling to do certain things. me. And to put myself through certain things, or I don't know. I don't want to really take the train here in Boston because it's always late. So I ride a bike everywhere, right? But if I have to go somewhere where I have to take the train, why am I enduring that? Who am I enduring that for, right? And I've canceled many a thing because I'm like, ooh, girl, that's far. I'm not doing that. I can easily get in an Uber, but I don't do it. So I think it's an interesting concept, the idea of inconvenience for the benefit of your community, or to have community.
1000%. I see this a lot. I mean, friendship has kind of become like one of my side passions, in that like I talk about my friends all the time, you know, and like you and Shamika are great examples of people that like I put a lot of time and effort into maintaining those relationships. And I remember when I posted a photo from my 40th birthday party, and I had about like 15 people at my brunch. I got lots of comments from people that said like, you can't be friends with all of those people. How do you have so many friends? I wouldn't even have 15 people to invite to a thing. And I was kind
that
of
nasty
taken.
attitude is why we ain't got no friends.
Well, there's your answer. But it really inspired me. So I started this conversation. I did like an Instagram live where I asked people to contribute questions about the work of friendship, is what I called it, is the live. And I made some content around it because I have seen this talked about a lot, and it breaks my heart. I've seen a lot of young women specifically saying things like, I can't be friends with other women,
Wow.
or I'm skeptical of a woman that has a lot of friends, a lot of female friends.
Really?
That rubs me the wrong way. Oh, Delon, like fascinating stuff. But to your thing about the inconvenience of friendship, I really found in those conversations, and just in ones I've observed online, to again take with a grain of salt, this idea that a lot of people are taking the position of like, well, I don't owe you anything. And it's like, but if it's your friend, like, it's not that you owe them something, but like, in order to maintain the relationship, it's a give and take. And that
Yeah.
includes conflict resolution. I cannot tell you how many fucking TikToks I've seen, huge numbers, where people are saying, well, my friend did this thing, am I in the wrong? And all I'm thinking is, why are you telling us and not the fucking friend?
Right.
Oh, because you want some views. And then the bunch of losers are in the comments going, that's right, girl, cut them off, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you know, maybe your friend was in the wrong, but like, your job as an adult is to talk to them and
And
say, like, let's figure this out.
and as a steward of friendship, right? The
Mm-hmm.
investment in the friendship is, this is a really hard thing. And again, if if I've done something wrong, it's okay to say that. You and I've had this before.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to say I did something wrong. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay for me to say you did something wrong. It doesn't mean I love you any less.
Right.
It just means I didn't like that thing.
And it
And
means that you respect the person enough to say it.
girl, friend, you
'Cause
better scream it from the rooftops, because if I didn't, I wouldn't say shit. The relationship would just change, and you'd be like, "Where are you at? Where are you at?"
Listen,
Listen, I've done it before, and I'll do
I
it
am
again.
going through that right now with someone who has always been a flake. The whole time I've known them, they've been a flake. But when I see them, we have a great time. They're the out of sight, out of mind type of person. And so I've learned to not take it personally. But most recently, I'm going to New York for this stand-up show, November 15th at the Stand for the New York Comedy Festival. Tickets in the bio, or in the description box. And so I texted this person because they live in New York, and I was like, hey, I'm going to be in New York. I would love if you could come to my show. If not, no problem. Here are the dates that I'm going to be there. I would love to see you. And they were like, oh my God, like I was just thinking about you. That was the end of it. No, like, I'm going to come, let's hang, whatever.
No follow-up? That was it?
No follow-up. And I was like, that's fine. That's fine. Whatever. Everybody's busy. I circled back a few days later to just be like a little nudge, just be like, hey, I would love to get something on the calendar so I can see you. No response. I open up Instagram. This motherfucker is in Los Angeles.
No. Damn.
And I just looked at it and I was like, now that's crazy. Cause I literally texted you. And to your point about the like, whatever, I just went, you know what? This is fine. I'm not taking this personally. You have done this enough times that I'm just going to take the fucking hint. Because clearly, cause I've said to this person a number of times, cause it's become a running joke that like, if you want them to respond, you have to send them a message and be like, hey, you dirty, not like good for nothing bitch, text me fucking back. And then they're like, oh my God, sorry, I'm so busy. Like, that's like a running thing. I'm not gonna do that anymore.
But what did Maya Angelou say when they show you who you are, believe who they are, believe them? But also, like, everyone's fucking busy.
Yes.
Everybody is fucking busy.
But you make time.
but you make time. Oh God, I had somebody say to me, you make time for what's valuable to you. And you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
For better or for worse.
Yes. And you're not wrong. And you know what it told me? You are not worth my time.
Right.
It's not that, rephrase. It's not that you're not worth my time. It's just that I'm not willing to make time for you because I have people, Francesca, Kevin, all of my friends, Cammie, that I cannot make time for that I want to, right?
Yeah.
And so like, I would love to be your friend. I would love to have that relationship, but we either have to go, I'm gonna see you when I see you. We can go out and get a drink every now and again, or I'll send you a voice memo once a month, or I'll get back to that text later on, or we can't have it because like I'm spread too thin.
But to your broader question about the inconvenience of friendship, because I saw a therapist talking about this on TikTok, and she was saying, she was really pissed off, and she was saying, I have had so many clients that complain about being lonely, but then they are always the friend that cancels last minute. They're the one that always has a reason like, oh, I don't feel like going to their party because they live in a 6-story walk up and I'm tired. And it's like, okay, but like, you need to show up for your friend's birthday, like if you are ill or whatever, or look, sometimes right now, a lot of people are going through financial strain and it's really difficult for them to show up. But the inconvenience of friendship says that you say to them, hey, I'm really struggling financially right now. I cannot do the birthday dinner. I cannot go to the movies.
Can we take a walk?
Can we take a walk? Can you come over and we can, and we can watch a movie here, like, whatever it may be. And so, again, to your point about we make time for what's important to us, that also means sometimes when it's hard, when it's late and you're like, what time does it start? You know what?
That is
me.
That's Fran to a T, girl.
That's me. But sometimes you have to go, I gotta, I'm
gonna go for an hour.
I gotta go for whatever it is, or like, in a different scale. I had a death in the family and I was looking at tickets for the flight and I was like, God, this is going to be really, really hard to do. And I have this new job and I have all these things. And it was like, but I got to show up. I have to show up for this thing. It is going to be expensive. I am going to be fucking traveling for 12 hours. I'm going to get there. I'm going to land and go there and like change at the freaking airport, go there, go home, sleep but I have to do it. Like, and so similarly, if you want friendships that last 20 plus years,
right?
Sometimes you have to do something that you don't want to do. Sometimes you have to have conversations that are difficult and you don't want to have, but you have to.
Well, and I think the difficult conversations thing is about people not wanting to be vulnerable, people being unwilling to be vulnerable. And I think in the same, the I don't have enough money right now is a vulnerability. And I know that there's a lot of shame associated with that.
Yeah.
But I would also tether it back to the inconvenience of community and the inconvenience of friendship. It's that same level of work. Right? Being vulnerable is that same level of work. It's saying, you know what? I am tired, but I'm still going to show up because you know why? This is important to me and it's valuable, but I want you to show up for me. And you don't do it as tit for tat. You do it because that's community and that's how that relationship works. That's how relationship works, full stop, Yeah,
I saw a girl say, everybody wants a village, but no one wants to be a villager. I said,
ooh, Proverbs.
That's the truth.
Proverbs.
Because the villager says, you know what? I know you're struggling with finances right now. Let me buy the lunch. I got it. That's totally fine.
I got a mason jar of berries right here for you. Provision.
You know what? Or you know what? I'm cleaning out my closet, and I told you I had a friend that did this. She was moving, and she said, "Come over," and I'm just giving stuff away. I said, "Ooh, I'm in the village. I'm in the village." Oh my God! But and to your point about the tit for tat, there have been times that like. An opportunity comes across my desk and I'm like, I really can't do this, but can I recommend somebody? I know somebody that will be great for this job. And I pull up my phone and I go, I know this. That's the thing. Oh, I love calling somebody and say, I got some money for you. Here's a little gig. Here's a little gig. Slide in the DMs. I'm like, hey, do you want to be part of a paid study that my friend is doing for the college or the nonprofit, the whatever? And so again, it is being the villager.
Yeah.
I'll take your ass to the airport. Do I really want to drive to LAX? No. But you need a ride. Let's go.
That's you in that electric car. She said, I might not be able to get back, but I'm going to take you.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Delon, did you see this viral Vogue article that is titled "Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing Now?"
Oh my God, y'all! The clickbait is still alive, even in print media that is quasi dead.
It's a great title.
It is.
Shantae Joseph wrote it. We're not super close, but we're friendly, and I'm so happy for her because the article has gone like mega viral. It's been translated to multiple languages. The men are upset. And I think that means she did her job. But I liked this article because basically it was just saying, she interviewed a bunch of people, women who have boyfriends. And just this idea of like in today's current political climate, men are just fucking up so much that women are like, I'm not trying to be seen with one of y'all. I love you, but you need to walk like 6 feet behind me.
So the idea that like I'm in a relationship, but like I'm not at work. I'm not going to talk about you.
And I'm not making my relationship this like cornerstone of my life or my personality. And especially on social media, that happens a lot where a woman will start dating someone and then suddenly it's like everything that they do is about like me and my boyfriend, me and my man, my man, my man. And, you know, this idea of like women feeling so independent and so they are at a place where we are decentering men that like a male partner is great, but it's not like this prize. It's like I could take it or leave it. And it really resonated with me as somebody that is like, yeah, I got somebody. And sometimes I'm like, you know, do I want to tell everybody what I'm doing? You know, and like I just thought it was a funny framing and also just really emblematic of where we are in this moment, that like a lot of women are really saying like, yeah, I could take it or leave it. And like, you need to be additive to my life. And that's why and if you are single, which I think is the more important part of it, is that like being single is not like, oh God, it sucks that I'm single. It's like, well, I don't really want to deal with the shit that comes along with this. Like being single is kind of a flex in a way, especially if you can afford to be single right now.
Right.
Because it's expensive to be single.
Tell me about it. You know what's funny that there's this guy Scott Galloway that I really like. He has the Pivot podcast with I forget Kara Swisher, I think is her name. And he wrote this book recently, and he's kind of been on this crusade talking about single men and how you know the world is bad for men right now, and part of it is because there was this guarantee that was of what it is to be a man, and that it's emasculating currently because men can't get dates, and you know, whatever percentage of men haven't asked women on dates, and women are to your point about this article, women are very independent now, and they don't need a man. A man needs to be additive, and but like it's always couched under like, woe is me over this man. And it really bothers. I like Scott Galloway a lot, but really bothers me.
I've heard some of his takes on this, and they've been like annoying.
It just really bothers me because it's like the entire world has been set up for us. Not yes me, but like queer men. I have another. You know, that's another Venn diagram.
And then you're a
over
black
here.
man, right?
Right.
So that's like
So, but I completely concede the entire world has been set up for us in terms of the patriarchy, right? And you're going to say because the pendulum has swung slightly to the right and asks more of men, having a good job and being a breadwinner, all that patriarchal bullshit is not enough anymore. You actually have to be vulnerable. You have to see a therapist. You have to have some kind of other psychological stability for women to go, yes, I want to build a life with you. It's that this article is totally the counterpoint to that. And again, like Scott, he's been on this crusade with, we need to do more for young men right now. And I'm like, how about young men find a bootstrap that y'all keep fucking talking about left and right?
Well, also,
you know what I mean?
1000%. And it's funny because I've seen those clips, and to me, I always just think, why are you talking to us? Y'all go over there, start a group chat, and have the conversation.
Single chat?
Why am I in it? And like, there's, I've talked about this article a bajillion times. Mel Hamlet, who's become a friend of mine, wrote this article, and the headline was, "Men have no real friends, and women are the ones paying the price for it."
That's so true.
And in the article, you know, she talks about women in hetero relationships, and I read this article right as I was like grappling with, possibly getting divorced, my marriage falling apart. And this idea that a lot of women find themselves in relationships with men where the men expects them to be everything because they don't talk to other men about their vulnerabilities, their, what they're scared of, what they're worried about. They have this relationship where like, it's like we drink beer, we watch sports, we maybe talk about like the women that we're having sex with, but we don't talk about anything else. And so
You
then
don't
they
talk
come.
about. Please, sorry, continue.
Oh no, please go ahead.
No, you don't. We don't talk about fears, right? We don't talk about like anxieties, right? And that's why people shoot places up and stuff, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just use an anecdote to interrupt you. I'm so sorry,
Sure.
but I'm in this rehearsal period, and did I tell you this already? Probably
No.
off mic. I'm in this rehearsal period right now, and so we're sitting in this theater where we're doing this show, and it's a bunch of men on the right, myself included, and a bunch of women on the left. And some of these women know each other, but some of them don't. Let's say 3 of them know each other, and there's like 7 of them over there. They are, oh my God, this and that. What's your Halloween costume? Oh my God, what's that? Tell me your name again. Blah, blah, blah. All the men, I'm sitting in the back, all the men looking at the women talking, observing them talking, not saying anything to one another. And this is queer men and straight men. And I was like, wow, this is a study. These women are just finding ways to connect that we are unable to connect to one another. Just evidence, further evidence,
Oh yeah. I mean, the article doesn't go in, well, the article does touch on some of this, but just the idea that like socialization has always been coded as feminine. And the reality is a lot of straight men don't really like women. They like the sexual gratification. They like the status that comes along with being a husband or a boyfriend, but they don't actually like women's company. And a lot of it is the patriarchy has coded things like telling each other, being vulnerable, or what's coded as gossip, right? Is like, oh, that's stuff that women do. Men don't do that. We don't talk in that way. We don't share. We don't cry, right? Like, I mean, as a woman, I can't tell you how many bathrooms I've been at a club and a girl is crying and I'm like, you okay? And I don't fucking know this girl.
Yeah.
And we're in there being like, fuck that dude. You don't need him. That's right. Let's get her a drink. And everybody is like rallying around some random ass girl. And to your point, men don't do that. Men don't do that.
I mean, during 2020, I had a come to Jesus with the gay group chat, which is like the 5 gay men that I have been friends with as long as you and I have been friends, right? From undergrad. And I was like, not to tell all their business, but one of them was going through a divorce. Another one was having financial issues. All of this stuff was happening. And like, nobody was really talking about it. We were getting on these calls on a Zoom like everybody else was, and just like having some wine and kikiing and playing games and stuff. But like, we were not really having like a real come to Jesus. And, me being the actor and the emotionally vulnerable person I am, I was like, how are we doing? Like, let's talk vulnerably. And we did. It was such a fruitful conversation. And I ended it by saying, we have to do this more. It's crazy that we've been friends for almost 20 years. By that point, we've been definitely almost 25 now, but like, we've been friends for 20 years and we don't speak vulnerably. We might kiki and joke and like argue and like,
or when the shit really hits the fan is when suddenly y'all are like,
well, no, Fran, you know what we do? We call you. We call women. It's the women in my life. I would call you. I would call Cammie. I would like, and my friend Kevin, he would call Grace, our mutual friend, like who's like, isn't that nuts? But I would not. Now we've learned. Now we've.
But that's also gay men, because the straight men would go to their wife maybe. But even then, it's at like the very.
But I mean, you're my wife. Shit, same difference.
Yes, but I just mean in the sense that like we've heard so many times. I mean, there's like, it's a running meme at this point where a man will say, there's a very viral video that I reposted where the man told his wife, oh, my best friend called off his engagement. And she said, well, what happened? He said, I don't know.
Oh, God,
she said, how was he doing? He said, oh, no, you're okay. What? You didn't just like ask him anything? Like,
that's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah. Kudos to you for starting that conversation. And again, there is some truth to this idea that like men are lonely, they are struggling, blah, blah, blah. But like, y'all created that system, not
Yeah.
us. And
Right.
you maintain that system because the thing that you and I talk about when we talk about therapy, it's really hard. It's so hard. Like
Oh,
being
God.
vulnerable, you do get something out of it, but in the immediate, it feels like, whoa, this is really scary. I don't like this. I'm
Right.
going to stop. When it's a practice, it's something you have to like work at to feel more confident in being honest and vulnerable. And I'll also add, there are women that uphold the system in the sense that like
Yes.
a man gets vulnerable and then they're like, ew, are you gay? Like what is that? Like, oh, be a man, you know, I can't deal with a man that doesn't do blah, 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 whatever.
Right.
So like there is unlearning that has to happen on both sides in that respect. But it is sad. The patriarchy hurts all of us,
Well, yeah,
including
and I think a
men.
part of that is this is kind of me dissecting too much as I want to do when it comes to humanness, the actor in me. But I think a lot of us, our identity is so contingent upon the opposite existing in a lot of ways, right? So to these women that prop up the patriarchy, not saying this is a gross generalization because I'm also not a woman, right? But I would argue or posit that like their femininity in the relationship is contingent upon that man holding up being a quote unquote man, doing man things. And if you're not identifying that way, then like if you have feelings, then like, well, I have to take care of you. I said this multiple times. You know, I have a mom and two sisters, and there were a couple of times where I came to them and I was like falling off the white horse, you know, and they didn't know what to do. They were like, oh, ooh, ooh. And I was like, oh, this is not the space where y'all can put me back on that horse, right? Because I'm the man. I'm, you know, in a weird way. So yeah, I would also posit that, like, because you know, sometimes rich people need poor people to be rich, you know. It's really a weird human thing.
That's really true. I hope that one of the things that the article talked about, the men have no real friends, is it was positive in the end of like these male groups that have been starting, like support groups where men are trying to hold space for each other. And so my hope is that we start, I mean, again, we are in this like really tumultuous time, but I did see people saying like Mamdani has kind of done more for straight men than
Yeah.
anyone before, because he does show a lot of like vulnerability and emotional intelligence, and like he's very much like a wife guy. Like you see him with his wife and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, he
And
loves
she
that
is
woman.
beautiful.
Oh,
God damn.
smoke show, and
Woo.
smart. And like, and again, to the whole of like, is my boyfriend embarrassing now? Her social media presence, which is not like a totality of someone who you are, but like it's very centered on her art and her work. It's not like my man, you know, it's very like,
Right.
oh yes, I am married, but like I have a very full life. And so my hope is that more men feel empowered to share how they're feeling, but also to like invest in doing that work for themselves. Because,
Yeah.
you know, y'all can be in the gym, y'all can be weighing that chicken and drinking them protein shakes, but you not exercising your mind.
Ready? Read a
You're not,
book. Read a book.
you're not
Read an
doing the
article or
work there.
two.
Yes.
We should let's hit the glow up. Do you have a glow
Okay.
up?
Do I have a glow up? I don't think I have a glow up this week.
Friend, I don't think I have a glow up either.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm going to say the glow up goes to the class, because what I shared on our YouTube channel that we were going up on Friday, somebody said, "Ooh, Friday class, does that mean pizza party?" I said, "That's right." You know
Hell
what?
yeah, let's grab a slice,
This
girl.
is a pizza party over here.
And you know where the best pizza is? New York. Go, Mamdani, go.
Hey, that's my mayor. Yeah, I listen, I maybe that's our glow up, you know. New York, I will say we had a blue wave. We've gotten I think it was Virginia has the
Governor's
first
race in Virginia, and then
the woman to be a governor, a
yes,
blue wave in Virginia. I mean,
and then New Jersey, they I think reelected their female governor.
I mean, it is a really big deal, and I really hope that we can keep this momentum going. Again, we talk about this so often here on the pod, but it's always worth repeating. Make sure you know who is up for re-election when it comes to these midterms. Make sure. I'm sorry that I keep doing this. This is an improv thing.
No, I do this a lot.
You do
too.
It too?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, it's like when someone's speaking, you don't want to interrupt them, and you go
on the nose.
I interrupt you all the time.
I mean, we are. I saw someone describe this as interrupters, and they said, "I can't be friends with someone that's not an interrupter." And I said, "That's right, girl." I started yelling at the phone. I agree. Yes, I'm gonna interrupt you. I'm gonna step over you right now to say you are right. So yeah, just really keeping this momentum going, and really knowing that like our voices and our vote matters, and that we can enact change. And if they are this fucking scared, if they should be quaking in their motherfucking boots.
They should be. And I, Nancy Pelosi just announced that she's not rerunning for election. She had a very viable candidate in San Francisco that was that is also, I think he's also a millionaire, but who cares? Indian guy who is running for office and looks really good for him. I think Chuck Schumer's next. I think AOC needs to run for that seat in Senate if I could say that. So yeah, we're seeing as Mamdani says, a new era come, and I think we need to double down on it, to your point, to just put win behind that. Yep.
It's the pendulum swing. It's unfortunate that it took, the stuff that is happening with Trump and his administration is really scary, but a number of people are feeling the heat in a way that they haven't before. And I gotta say, Gen Z really motherfucking turned out for these elections. And that is great to see. They have been through a lot, and it is not unreasonable that a lot of them feel disillusioned and unmotivated. Like, why?
Because they can't buy nothing. They can't buy a house that's supposed to be guaranteed in the dream.
There's no jobs. There's student loan debt. The fucking schools have been shut up. There was COVID. I mean,
I saw some girls say, wait a minute. The government shut down and you can't pay nobody. But I just got paid and you took my taxes.
Still took my taxes.
You took my taxes out though, so I can pay you, but you can't fucking pay me. That's not how this works. Crazy.
It is some shit, but you know what? I do think, look, it's not going to happen overnight. It's incremental changes, but like, I think we should all take this as a feather in our cap. But like not go, okay, great, the work is done. Like, no.
If we've learned nothing, that it is all hands on deck, because class, as you know, it is melting. The empire is falling. Look back to history. Look to Rome. Look to the British Empire.
So are the ice caps. So are the ice caps. We about to be.
We just saw what happened to Jamaica. God bless those people. I hope everybody's okay. God bless. Because it's all happening at once. But we love y'all for listening. We really do. Let us know how y'all feel about the Mom Don. Are y'all on the train? Are you on the free bus?
Tell us in the comments. Or, if like maybe you're gonna run for office. Tell us. We want to vote for you. Tell us in the comments.
What's your platform?
Yes, absolutely. And do you think that Erika Kirk and JD Vance are getting horizontal on the couch? You know how he feels about couches. Let us know in the comments. Or you can email us, lemmefixitpod@gmail.com, or hit us up over on our Instagram @fixitpod.
And you know where to get us, right here on YouTube every Wednesday or Friday, as it were.
Or Friday.
It'll be here. It'll come out. Hit that little notification bell, and you can get us get a notification about when we drop. But we will be here normally every Wednesday. We thank you for tuning in. I'm Delon.
I'm Francesca, and this was Lemme.